Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Shadow Collective, the Star Wars podcast. It's season 2, episode 13. We've got a lot to cover, and as always, here are my good friends, Andy Beads.
Lucky number 13.
Yep, and Swampgrass.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Going pretty good.
It's going way better now. I misplaced my wallet earlier today, and I didn't know where it was. That's why I was taking longer to come on earlier. I wasn't on when you guys were responding, where are you? Hello. I was panicking. I didn't know where the heck my wallet was. I found it, thank you. But
Nice.
it was my heart was just like, you know how much of a pain in the ass that is to switch all your cards,
sure.
And oh my gosh,
Trying to replace
anyways,
everything.
All good. It's all good. We're good. I'm doing good now.
Nice.
Yeah. About the same for the phone too. I remember I lost it at the gym one time, and I was just calling all my credit card companies, changing all my online passwords.
Do you
just
have all your cards on your phone?
Most of them, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't have any on my phone.
Yeah.
I for some reason I don't trust that yet. I know it's been around a bit. And my kids use it now, and my wife uses it. And I was like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if I trust it enough to use it yet.
I did it once to try it, didn't like it, so I kind of decided to try away from it.
One of my cards I use so infrequently that if it wasn't for that, there's no way I would be able to access it. I would forget everything.
It's the same as my online banking account, because I don't even know my password anymore. I use
exactly
it all the time now, so I have no idea what my
Yeah.
So if it was ever to mess up, I'd be screwed.
Yeah.
Fun.
All right, so
Eldor.
Yes.
Eldor, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I mean, it's a lot of doom and gloom around here, but it's okay. I mean, we're here. We're talking Star Wars. It changes the mood all the time.
Up now?
Oh yes, definitely. Rested, happy, ready to go.
That's great. All right.
And with that, I'll segue right into the news.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's see. First story we're going to go with is going to be out of Star Wars Newsnet. And it involves Sean Levy, who obviously has a lot going for him right now. Coming off of a great Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And basically, we've gotten news that he is making a Star Wars movie now, and I'm excited for that on its own. I mean, number one, always excited if I'm going to hear there's another Star Wars movie on the table. But according to the story from Star Wars Newsnet, it looks like he has a couple of actors in mind for his story. I'm going to go right into this right here. It says, part of the promotional tour for Deadpool and Wolverine, director Sean Levy is answering questions time to time regarding his upcoming Star Wars movie. A few weeks ago, he confirmed that Jonathan Tropper is penning the script for the film, and in a sit-down with Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, was asked again about it. Let's see. Question and in particular, the response is quite relevant. A few months ago, is mentioned in his newsletter that it was his understanding that Levy's film was set to feature the character of Rey Skywalker in some capacity, which would kind of confuse me considering we already have one movie with her in it.
I don't know.
So, kind of also leads me into the idea of how, it also leads me to the idea of how far into the future are we talking here.
I suppose.
But it says, while Daisy Ridley hasn't been officially attached to it and no one else has followed up on that tip, Levy's response might add fuel to the fire. It says, and yet his next words may feel contradictory to the notion of already focusing on an already known character. The director then emphasized he wants to focus on new stories set in a galaxy far, far away. Um, basically said, let's see the quotes here. The experience of crafting this story has forced me to think about that question. There's only so many times a Star Wars movie can revisit the same section of the timeline. I don't want to do a Star Wars movie that is redundant to others, nor am I interested in doing one that has to serve another movie. I really want to craft something that felt organic to me in tone and characters. There's certainly the Force and the connection to something bigger than our individual selves, and the way that that can make us powerful. Those themes combined with the visual delight and wish fulfillment, that's Star Wars to me. What he's saying there, I already like where he's going.
Yeah.
um,
Especially like the fact that he just has like a vision of what he wants to make is awesome.
Absolutely. But he already sounds more like he's got Star Wars, like he understands Star Wars a little more. um, which I like. Says little else is known about Levy's film for now, including a release date or production schedule. The writing is seemingly underway. Looks like Levy's next feature film. Excited.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
So, thoughts? I mean, let me put it this way. What do you think about what he has to say, and any ideas on where you think he might be going for a movie?
I mean, look, he has a great track record. I mean, if you want to take a look at what he's done, what he's directed. Uh, as a director, he's grossed about 3.5 billion worldwide in his movies. He's done plenty of stuff. Night of the Museum, The Real Steel, Free Guy, Adam Project, Deadpool, and Wolverine, which just like probably just catapulted him like up this way. He's part of Stranger Things on Netflix. He's one of the producers on that. So he's done a lot of stuff. He's Canadian, so I like that. But
Yeah, and
maybe
Free
more just
Guy. Free Guy
Adam.
was an awesome movie that he did as well.
Yeah, Free Guy was a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
he's done a lot of stuff, right? So he's got a great track record, which is great. All of his stuff, it seems to be, it's been pretty successful. So, I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's nice little Ike, like not saying him, I'm saying the project itself, like um it's nice to see that there's other projects starting to happen, which makes me wonder what's happening. Or like you said, like how far down are we thinking that this is going to happen? Because I mean, if the whole Ray Skywalker thing is what he's talking about, or he potentially could be having some sort of, I don't know, movie sort of intertwining maybe with the whatever's going on with the Ray
The
Skywalker
Ray film.
stuff that what's her face is doing. I don't know, like maybe I don't know, but it sounds promising. I honestly like. I'm more excited about him than what's his face. I'm not gonna say his name.
He shall not
TW.
be named. He who
We
shall
all
not be
know who
named.
I mean, right? We
Uh,
all know who I mean, all right?
yeah.
I hope that this project here bumps him off the whole pedestal and he's
Off
not
the
even getting
radar.
known off the radar. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, everything that he seems organic about the whole thing. So I mean, I don't know. It sounds promising from my aspect, and I don't know. Like I it's too early to tell even what he's writing about. If it's Ray Skywalker, then I mean, yeah, is it intertwining with what that new Jedi Order thing that's being written as well? Like, is that going to be part of that? Is it going to be separate? Um, I find it kind of strange that there's two movies right now that are kind of focused on Ray Skywalker, which is kind of kind of odd considering what happened with the the sequels, but I don't know. That's
I don't know. I personally don't think it's going to be anything involving Ray. I think that's probably just something they brought up because
Yeah,
even if you listen to what he said, he's like he doesn't really want a movie that's going to be involved in the other films or so. Yeah, I'm almost getting the impression that he's going to try to lean into something new in the universe or something that we haven't touched on already. Making me almost think is he going to be the one maybe go to the Old Republic, um, which I would love. I know there's a lot of people that would love to see some kind of Old Republic TV show or movie out. I think that would be spectacular. Or maybe he pushes out into the future. If he's gonna do something with Ray, maybe he pushes out 30 years into the future from where we're going. I don't even know where this Ray movie is at this point. And maybe that is the new Jedi Order, and maybe that's what sets up. I don't know. Maybe a future Yuzan Vong or something like that. Um, Not that I'm saying that that's going to happen, but obviously this is all speculation.
yeah.
But
Yeah, it does seem like the Ray thing is like reporters kind of reaching for something there, like based on his reaction to it. He's like, in writing, of course, we're thinking about like it forces him to think about characters and actors and stuff, but he doesn't want to be doesn't want to pigeonhole it in one part of the timeline and keep it open to other ideas seems but yeah, it's very exciting for sure because like I feel like doing this show we've mostly been talking about the projects that we already know about for quite some time, so it's good to hear some new ideas
yes,
for sure. Yeah. But yeah,
okay.
I do think the Ray thing is just reporters reaching for it, and I don't think that's specifically what he meant based on what I read there.
Okay. Um. So, who wants to? Anything else you guys want to say on the issue, or
It would be kind of cool to see a Hermit Ray.
Hermit Ray?
Yeah.
She starts talking like Yoda. I'm out of here.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, who wants to take on the next one?
What is let me pull it up. I'll do it.
This must be Disney
Okay.
confirming plans. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Disney confirms plans to release 3 new Star Wars movies in 2026 and 2027. They confirm the 3 new movies will release in that time frame. There's currently only limited information on the upcoming Star Wars films, but Disney investor presentation is an assurance that the projects are on schedule. Since the movies are on schedule, it's possible that well, it says that D23 could have reveals about that, but we already
Yeah, it was last
have
weekend.
seen what
We
has come
we
from
already read
that.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, let's see what else does it say here. There are quite a few upcoming movies currently in development, from confirmed titles like The Mandalorian Grogu and less well-defined films like New Jedi Order. Despite the number of movies Star Wars has developed, however, very little information about them has been made available. Shocker, right? While the franchise still hasn't confirmed any story details, Disney confirms when the next Star Wars movies will hit theaters. Sorry. Disney's third quarter investor presentation confirmed that Star Wars will have 3 new. Oh yeah, it already said that like 3 times. All right, let's see. What does this picture show? Um, that's just numbers about what they have achieved through The Mandalorian and Disney Plus. I guess I could read some of that. Nearly $6 billion combined in global box office in that quarter or whatever. And Mandalorian, most watched Disney Plus original series to date. I guess it built over 1.5 million droids and 1.2 million lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge. Young Jedi Adventures on Disney Channel and Disney Plus. Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort remain one of our most popular immersive lands. Over $1 billion annual retail sales. And what else we got here? Yeah, it just says again that seems to be proof that these films are still on schedule.
I mean, we know that of the three that they're mentioning that this new Mandalorian Grogu is not one of us. That one's scheduled to come out next year. Or I believe it was a 2025 release.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but I feel like we did have another article. Is that in our notes here that about something getting pushed back?
I don't know about that, but I know they said there was 2 movies scheduled for 2026, which means 2027 we'd be getting one. Now that whether that's going to be mid-year, which is that usual Star Wars date around May, or towards the end of the year where they're trying to establish themselves. So I'm not sure that that'll work, considering I think there might be an Avatar movie coming out in that time period, which I know they won't want to directly compete with themselves on that.
Yeah, because I know we were talking about those scheduling conflicts with a Marvel movie coming out as well too. So I wouldn't be too surprised if dates did change for sure.
So just to clarify, the Mandalorian Grogu is scheduled to be released May 22nd, 2026, not 2025.
Okay,
oh, so they did push that back then.
Then that is my mistake. Okay. Then see, that kind of then leads me into wondering, okay, then if that's one of them, then I know they had one scheduled for the end of 2026, but if I remember correctly, is that the one that is scheduled to release the same day as the new Dune movie?
Oh yeah, that's right. I think that was what we were looking at.
I'm checking that now myself. But if that's the case, I'm gonna be very curious about how that movie plays in, or what their choice is going to be for that movie.
Yeah. And I think before what I had said is it all depends on which film that is. If it's the Rey one, might be tough sell.
It might be the wrong choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then having one release in 2027, I mean, yeah, then that doesn't surprise me one bit that we would have the 3 movies, because we've been talking about 3 movies for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would put again the Rey movie, the Mangold movie. I'm not sure where the Mangold movie.
Yeah, like we imagine that's probably going to be the last of the 3, but nothing would be too surprising if it wasn't.
Well, we've heard nothing about it also, so
yeah.
For all we know, next thing you know, Tuesday they suddenly announce we're ready to start casting people, and here we go.
Yeah. Or it could be like Tales of the Empire, where we just don't hear anything more, and then it's just boom, here.
Yeah. Well,
not that that's a movie, but you know what I'm saying. That was very surprising.
Yeah, it's like I don't think the actual filming, the actual Lucasfilm will get away with that. Animation, it's easy to slip some stuff by.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, you're not as long as you're not telling me that things are getting pushed back and we're waiting 4 more years for another movie. It's all good news to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not finding the release date for this Dune 3. The earliest I found is 2028.
There might, which if that's the case, there might have. I know they had some kind of
I think it was
conflict.
something that it was a certain
It's not officially
studio.
confirmed.
I think it was just that it was the studio, and we kind of um, sort of assumed that it could be Doom. I think that's what it was, if I recall correctly.
Maybe, yeah.
It
It
says
says
here.
it
Actually, I'm
says
looking at it
it's
here.
not confirmed.
As of June 29th, it was scheduled for release on December 18th, 2026, which I believe is the date that Star Wars movie was supposed to come out in 6th.
Yeah, that does sound like the right time frame that we were looking at.
But
There's
again,
Just looking for that article that we visited on the show here that just showed all those movie releases.
I mean, I feel like that's something. Once we know what the Star Wars movie is, I feel like I'll feel a little more confident or unconfident about what it's going to be. Because if it's Mangold's movie, it might be able to give a run. I don't know. Because I mean, a movie about the old Jedi Order. I mean, you're not going to really have anything Skywalker. It might bring less people in just because there's no Skywalkers, but there's going to be a lot of people that want to see the origins of the Jedi, origins of the Force.
Yeah, and I could just imagine how exciting a trailer for that would be. Oh man.
I mean, watching somebody ignite quote unquote the first lightsaber, I I know I'd probably be a little giddy, but but yeah, it's got me thinking. I'm excited for all that. But again, if it is the Ray movie, it may be a problem. I don't know. We'll see. Um, I'm not trying to be negative on this right now.
Yeah, it's just yeah, the vibe of how negative people feel towards, like, Kathleen Kennedy and all that kind of like woke stuff that they keep trying to force into Star Wars. I feel like that's something that's kind of resonated over the past few years, and the Ray movie, I feel like, is going to have a lot of that attached to it. So
well,
well,
it's gonna have that. It's gonna have all the the anger and the stuff that came along with the sequels
mhm.
with that. Like, there's people are still butthurt about it, and they're gonna be butthurt
Absolutely.
for ever. But I don't think I don't are brutal, So it's and they will shun you if they don't like the right color of the inside of the Millennium Falcon. Like it's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a lot of pressure surrounding the Ray, like the new Jedi Order thing that they want to do. And it needs to be done correctly. It needs to be released at the perfect time.
and my thing
It's
is,
just going to be
if
another
Dune is coming out at
flop,
that
I
time,
think.
I don't know if that's the perfect time.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a flop if it's not done right. It's another like Solo movie where it's released at the wrong time. Great movie. I love Solo. It's
Yeah,
a great movie, but
I think people just
it's just
gave it
bad
the
PR,
shaft because
bad
of
spot. You know, David
it just came at the wrong time after the
well
wrong
because
movie.
love the Last Jedi too, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like people held a
I
grudge,
think
and
it's just they
that's really what happened.
have to they have to step up on that. So they gotta plan it properly if that's it.
But we'll get to that when we get there, I guess.
We'll see.
Um, that being said,
We'll see.
D23 just
We'll
passed.
see.
The one thing I
Yeah.
was hoping for was a little more news on movies. I know we did get news on the Mandalorian
Yeah.
Grogu. They did get a little bit of a teaser there, which
But this is
I
kind of like stuff we kind of knew. they gave us a little bit more, but yeah, we didn't see any of it, right? Because
No,
they did a
well,
teaser for the Mandalorian Grogu. We didn't see
oh,
anything.
I heard there's leaks out there if you really want to find it, but I mean, sometimes I just want to wait. I mean, not to mention, I don't believe
You're right.
actual filming had started at that point. So whatever they put together, I don't know what you put together. So
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be somebody just like, yeah, like not.
because
Could be like
they
not
showed that
important
picture.
stuff.
They showed the picture behind when Dave and John on stage. They showed that picture behind them,
well, no,
and
they did have a sizzle reel there at
well, they
D23,
have like their
but
studio, their production's ready to go. They were I think they were either beginning to start filming like within a couple weeks, or they had already done that, or something like that.
yeah,
They were either started or they were about to.
yeah,
But
but my
they have a production going. Like it's ready to go.
yeah, basically just there's not enough there. So I mean, at this point, I'll wait.
I mean, a sizzle reel could be also be like them filming some of the behind the scenes stuff too. Like these
Yeah,
are the actors, and
Yeah, that's true.
the they're in makeup, and then these guys are over here, setting up the the stage or whatever, right? Like that could be
Yeah,
a lot of the sizzle reel.
yeah, and showing like some of the environs that they're gonna use, or like ships or droids or stuff like that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
so they did mention that they are bringing back the Razor Crest for this
Oh,
one,
really?
A
which
a Razor Crest. Oh,
that one kind of caught my ear, and it was like, how are we pulling this off? but
like
but
the Razor Crest, or is it a Razor Crest? Like it
I'm gonna
is
assume
it
it's
another Razor Crest?
I'm assuming it's probably the Razor Crest 2 or Razor Crest Junior or
Little did you
whatever.
know. Little did you know, there's this Project Necromancer where they brought the Razor Crest back to life.
Back to life. And it looks like Kylo Ren's helmet in the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Somehow the Razor Crest is still alive.
How can you bring back a character that's already been dead?
And Ventress will be flying it.
Oh, Ventress. Hey, she's still around. She's around somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean that could be another story. That could be another story we can get into in a few minutes. Also,
Maybe.
like I said, the only other thing is, like I said, I was hoping that we'd hear a little bit more about other movies. And not that I needed trailers, not that I needed heavy details, but just let me know that the stuff is still going. Just let me know Mangold's still working on his movie. Just let me know the Ray movie is still moving along. That's all I ask for. Just let me know that they're moving.
Just let us know that Takai Waititi did not get let out of the
Whoa, whoa,
closet.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
He's
whoa,
still
wait,
in there.
What are you doing? I thought that was the man who shall not be named.
Did I say his name right? I don't know.
Oh, you said it wrong. You said it wrong. That's okay.
See?
It was intentional. It was intentional.
It was intentional, yeah. Like T-dubs. T-dubs.
TW.
Like, yeah, I want to know if he's still in the closet. Like, don't let him out. Put the padded jacket on him and everything.
That being said, I know Celebration's coming up soon, so we'll probably be getting. I hope we're gonna get some announcements there.
I'm figuring Celebration in Japan is going to be massive, just based on the movies that are being made. Like, we're gonna get a lot of info. I really, really think so.
We
There's
need
gonna
to.
be a lot of stuff.
We definitely need to get some stuff because.
Oh man.
And obviously Mandalorian Grogu is gonna be should be done by then.
I
It
think
should be in post production.
we will be getting a trailer at Celebration for Mando and Grogu. I think so.
At least
or a teaser. At least
yeah, I would say at least like a behind the scenes thing, if nothing else.
Like something like.
But at that point we need to start hearing news about whatever the second movie is. Even if you're announcing casting crew at that point. Yeah, a title, casting crew announcements.
Yeah.
at that point, we still don't know enough about any new TV shows coming out because they didn't announce any at D23 also.
Yeah,
Um,
there doesn't seem like to be anything after Skeleton Crew and Andor 2, right? So,
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we know about
we
Ahsoka,
do know that
but that's about it.
well, I mean, yeah,
that's
I
true.
guess.
That's true.
Um,
Season 2. Also, we
Ahsoka
do.
and a Mandalorian season 4. Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Potential for that, yeah. Also, to Tales of Jedi 2, I feel like at one point they mentioned that, but we didn't really get any details about it.
And
So
those
that
are
could be
and
something.
those are usually drop on the fly because none of us ever see it
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. So that could be on Celebration. They're like, here's Tales of Jedi 2.
Yeah, coming next week.
I feel like what
Yeah.
might have happened with that too. I think they had planned on doing the second one, but I feel like they just pushed it. I feel like because they were like, oh, maybe it might be a better idea to do
Empire.
the Tales of the Empire stuff or something Sith related, and then go back to the Jedi. So I think they might have pushed it. I still think it's somewhere's out there, and I think they're still probably planning to drop it at some point. But definitely, it's probably gonna be like next year or whatever. And that might be something that they might bring up at Japan. That'd be great too.
I mean, one thing I would like to say though is I did hear a rumor that they're talking about Daniel Logan being at Celebration.
Right. Maybe. I mean,
Either it's either that or we're finding our way back to. They're talking about us either that or there's going to be a second season of Boba Fett. But why is Daniel Logan a major announcement already?
well, Daniel Logan's been. I think he was at the last celebration too. Like he's been at these things before, but
he's just the guy that shows up. I mean, they don't announce, hey, Daniel Logan's going to be here. I mean, because it's not like he's doing anything new. What are we thinking about that he's suddenly possibly showing up?
I mean, it's possible. Like the Tales of the Tales franchise. Let's say that's what to call it. The Tales franchise. Um, they got so many things that they can do with this thing.
That's why I love the idea of it.
And I really love the idea because it you don't have to sit there and watch something for 2 hours or whatever it is, whatever I would love to do anyways. But a lot of people have short attention spans apparently nowadays. So the 14, 15-minute shows and get right to the point with the stories like uh, it works. And I think it will work for years to come with this thing too. Like the Tales thing, they can, like I said, they can do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. There's so many
Any direction,
so much direction that they could go with this. There's so much characters in
Tales of the Ewoks.
They can do anything, right? Like
hey, there's stories to tell there too. Because I
Tales
mean,
of the Jawa.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, if we're going to push into the sequel series, they went back to Endor. There's nothing left. What happened to the Ewoks?
Yeah.
I mean, so we may see that one day.
There's somebody out there going, please, let's get a Tales of the Ewoks.
I was thinking about something
I can
when
think
you
of a
said
lot of people
about,
that are saying that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know a few people. I know a few. But yeah, the when you said that about Daniel Logan, I was thinking about something. Would it make sense for like him to have a role somewhere in the what's the game that's coming out? Outlaws. Like time frame wise, would that make sense?
I think it's a possibility. I know they have David.
You never know.
It's not some.
It's between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
So if anything, it would be he would look more like what's his name? Guy who currently plays.
Yeah.
Why is his name missed out of my head right now?
It's one of those names that, like, as soon as
Morrison?
Yes, Tamora Morrison.
Oh yeah,
Morrison. I'd say
mainly
I'd probably lean more towards looking like him. If it was something more Clone Wars era. Yeah, maybe Daniel Logan or flashback.
Oh
him
yeah,
as a
that could
kid.
be too. Yeah, yeah. You never know. Yeah, I just thought of that like when you were saying about Celebration. I'm like, hey, maybe he's in that game. Maybe.
Could be, but we'll see the game before we get to Celebration,
I
anyways,
mean,
right?
I mean that
It's
game that
Yeah.
game's is next month, so
pretty much
Yeah.
next month, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll know. So maybe it's not that. Could be something else, but yeah, possible. Possible, but maybe they're just throwing names at us too. Daniel
Yeah.
Logan's gonna be there. You're like, why? Like,
Just to make people
just to
speculate.
make,
That's...
just to make
it's
people
like, what are you
go,
doing with
oh,
him?
what is going on? Yeah, what is he playing?
There's probably people out there, they got like the board with the pictures and the strings drawn to each thing, trying to figure out how he fits.
Come to find out, it's just, oh, he really loves going to Japan.
Yeah.
Really, that was it.
Yeah. Part Japanese.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, so we definitely spent a lot of time on this one. We should probably go on to the next story. Wants to Andy?
I'll do this one. Yeah, it's a it's a fun one. It's a fun one, guys. This is, and I think we've done this. I think we know that Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy was coming out. The official trip. Well, there was a trailer dropped already weeks
Teaser
ago, or
trailer.
whatever it was. Yeah, but the official
Yeah.
trailer or the final trailer or whatever they did, they dropped it at D23. So the movie, no, it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, so
Mhm.
on Disney Plus, it's dropping. It's like a four part series. That's, I'm not sure if it's being dropped all at once, but it drops September 13th on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I feel
And
like in the past Lego Star Wars stuff has dropped in batches like that, like
well,
where it's the
especially
whole
like the
season.
animation stuff
Yeah.
usually does.
On the other
But
hand, I don't think anything has picked up the level of excitement that this specific level, this
Man,
Lego Star Wars has picked up.
this thing looks actually really good, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. And it's like
Yeah.
it's got that mix of like, because back when Marvel, they decided to do that what if thing, and I think I've
Yeah.
brought this up too, right? It
Yeah.
kind of because a lot of people were like, well, what if they did Star Wars like that? What if they did yada yada with this, all that stuff, right? So it's kind of like this kind of plays into that, kind of I don't know, feeds that
The curiosity.
curiosity,
Yeah.
sort of, I guess, yeah. And but with a playful like Lego, like it's gonna
Yeah.
be really good, I think. Like Mark Hamill's in it. Bobby Moynihan, he's from SNL.
Mhm.
Tony Revolori, Gaten Matarazzo. No idea what that is, but it sounds fun. Uh, I don't know, but you could look him up, I guess. It looks like you're gonna do that. But so anyway, so I was trying to find just a short. The synopsis is pretty simple, right? A Nerf. Well, they call him a Nerf herder. So whoever the main character is, I'm guessing it's based off of Han Solo or maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So a Nerf herder discovers an artifact that twists the Star Wars universe, swapping the roles of heroes and villains. He embarks on an adventure to restore order and emerge as the savior who reassembles the fractured galaxy. So like it's like the one, yeah, I don't know, I think it shows in the trailer where the takes the block out and the block like blows up or something like that, and like when it comes back in, it restructures the whole galaxy or something.
Yeah, the
So it's
corner
a lot of
block of
fun
the
things, man.
universe or
A
something
lot
like
of fun
that.
things in the trailer. Like it's really,
Yeah.
really a lot of things. You're like, oh man, and
Yeah, like the X-Wing TIE fighters,
X-wing
Ewok
TIE
bounty
fighter. Yep.
hunters, all kinds of cool stuff. Darth Jar Jar, of
Darth
course.
Jar Jar, who, if you know I have an emote that is Darth Jar Jar, and I've had it for years, and I've been wanting to have a Darth Jar Jar. and now we actually have one. So this is gonna be great. I hope they put out a Funko Pop for it. And I know we put up. We might have found one before. I'm not sure if we did or not. There could
Yeah,
be
I
one.
feel like we did or
There could be
something, but
one, but a Lego version of it would be even better. But anyways, so yeah, so
just to
sorry.
update
but-
here, Gaten Matarazzo. That's how it's pronounced. He's a kid, but apparently he's best known for being in Stranger Things. I don't
Okay.
see. Plays the character Dustin in Stranger Things.
Oh, okay, yeah. Dustin
Oh,
is
that's
probably one of the more
Dustin.
loved
Oh, okay,
characters
yeah,
for
one of
sure.
the main characters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now
Yeah.
I know.
And
There you
then
go.
Tony Revolori. Best thing that I could see that he's known for is actually being Flash Thompson in the Spider-Man movies.
Thompson.
Oh, okay.
The
Like
kind of the
Tom
cool
Holland
kid,
ones?
kind of the cool kid that Tom Holland wants to be friends with. Well, he's kind of like their enemy, but he loves Spider-Man.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Cool. That's so. I mean, these guys are they're somewhat known, right? So
Yeah, you've
and,
seen them
and,
before.
and I mean Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Come on, you have Mark Hamill doing this. Like that's crazy. That's awesome. I love it. And in the trailer, he does he's like a version of Luke Skywalker where he's going and he's saying, so my dad's my dad's the evil guy, yada and he just goes through this whole rant of like of the trilogy story and he's like that's so weird like anyways
Yeah, he seems like
you have to watch it. It's
yeah, he seems like his character in that
more
whatever
laid back,
scene that
just
it
like
shows
chill.
is kind of like Fat Thor in the Thor where he's just like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do any of that.
But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I mean, it sounds like you guys are too.
Yeah, like I said, it's weird because like I don't find myself to be big. I'm not big into the Lego scene, Star Wars stuff, and there's a lot of stuff I need to go catch up. I saw this trailer and right away I was like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this. so, so even it's like for someone that even in my position where I don't think too much of it, yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah,
There's
for
been,
me,
like,
like I wasn't really big into the Lego stuff, but I have watched quite a bit of it because for a while I was with a girl who had kids and stuff, and I really got attached to the Freemaker saga. That was a really cool show.
yeah, that was a good
So
one.
if it's
Yeah.
like on par with that as far as like doing a good job, it'll be awesome. And also
Yeah,
like
If it's
like you
on
know how
par with that
Palpatine
as
in
far
the
as like
Lego Star
doing a
Wars,
good
he's like
job.
this very comedic character.
yeah.
I would love to see what they do along those lines with that character. Like even though he won't be the Empire, obviously he'll be something else, maybe a rebel or something. Should be funny. Yeah. Should be funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have seen a bunch of the Lego stuff because I got kids. So I mean, I've seen all the Batman ones. The Batman ones are my favorite. Like, I love the Batman Lego ones. Um, but if it's done at the same like, same quality, same capacity, same whatever, like those they look great. Like when they do them right. So
Hmm. Yeah.
always a great job. Whatever whenever it's done with these Lego stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I feel like I'm more excited for this movie than a lot of Star Wars stuff that's coming out. Like I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but right
It's
now it's
fair.
like
It's fair.
Well, I mean, right now considering there's not a lot
not
to
a
really
lot,
hold on
not a
to.
lot, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a I'm there myself, so I get it. The only other thing that I can think of that they announced over the weekend was Young Jedi Adventures that they were going to continue, and
That's true.
I mean that I'm a little excited for because I started watching those And even though that's something,
started watching those yet.
Oh,
Actually.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, even though those are,
I'm gonna hop back on that soon myself. Like I did watch a few episodes when the first season came out, but I didn't continue with it per se.
yeah, it's like even though that's set for little kids,
Yeah.
I kind of like the stories. You know what they're targeted at. There's nothing. I mean, technically, it's all canon, which is surprising. But it's lighthearted. There's nothing really. You don't go into it thinking like, oh wow, this is gonna ruin this. This is gonna ruin that. It's just fun stuff you can watch, and it's just what it is. And
yeah, we're not looking at it like, hey, Keanu Reeves is not supposed to be born yet, and things like that.
Yeah.
All these butthurt Star Wars fans going, "What the
Oh my
heck was that? That's not right."
Did you see the
They
fourth?
don't look like that.
Did you see the 4th minute of episode 3 of season 1? Did you see what they did?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah,
That's something I gotta add to my list. Yeah, I gotta watch that.
So definitely.
Yeah, and I think I might be wrong, but I think that new season that they were talking about is already on there, or at least episodes from it, because last time I was on Disney Plus, it came up as whatever featured things on Disney Plus or new things on Disney Plus or whatever.
Okay.
So
I don't think I anything Star Wars this week. So.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I'm just
Oh no, yeah, season two is up, and yeah, there are 11 episodes in.
there you go.
Now, wow, they threw a lot. Either they threw up a lot really fast, or that was one late announcement they threw at us. So
yeah, I imagine, like, from the way we got the announcement and stuff, I imagined it was just like the announcement and then boom, it was all there, but I'm not too sure.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, also something if you're not watching it, give it a look. It's actually pretty fun. You got little kids, they'll definitely love it. So yeah, give it a shot. But any other thoughts on the Lego stuff?
No, I'm good. I mean,
yeah, just the trailer was really good, and
Okay.
definitely looks like something interesting to check out for sure.
Okay, now I'm gonna jump into the next story then, which is also from Star Wars News Net, and it's talking about Disney Plus turning quarterly profit for the first time, which is actually good news because I mean, if they're starting to make money, means we're gonna start getting more shows, and hopefully that means potentially good Star Wars shows.
I feel like it took longer than they thought it would take.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. But
yeah, nice to hear.
Yeah, but let's see here. It says less than 5 years after launching their flagship streaming venture, Disney Plus, the Walt Disney Company announced on Wednesday during their quarterly earnings call they have turned a profit on this side of the business. Via the Hollywood Reporter, Disney CEO Bob Iger announced that direct-to-consumer division, which includes Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, had a revenue of $6.4 billion in the last quarter, as well as an income of $47 million. This was thanks to an uptick in Disney Plus subscribers, which currently total 118.3 million. Hi. And Hulu subscribers, whose subscriber base rose 2% this last quarter. The average revenue per user, an additional indicator that also takes into ad sales, rose internationally while still slightly declined in the U.S. They are seeing this as a huge victory, especially for a quarter where there wasn't a lot of enticing new programming. Said it could be that many families decided to sign up just so they could see Inside Out on a loop before and after watching the sequel in theaters. Bob Iger did highlight an increase in consumption on their offered streaming titles, adding the quote here is what we've been seeing with streaming is significant success driven largely by the success of our creativity. What that means?
Yeah,
that
sounds like
sounded like word salad to me.
yeah, it sounds like they're like dodging the question, you know.
um,
Success driven large by the success of our creativity.
and then basically just gets into the TV shows. Here at the end, its profitability is the holy grail of streaming. Metric Wall Street is most interested in the moment, along with engagement. Thanks to the sudden excitement around folding advertising into the business. Netflix was the first to accomplish the goal, and is still well above its competitors. Warner Brothers Discovery has claimed to reach it in past quarterly earnings calls, yet they do so thanks to the lumping Max with HBO, which has been profitable for decades. Still, Disney Plus's numbers are combined with those of Hulu and ESPN Plus, two platforms that precede it. Either way, I mean, it's just good news knowing that basically they have that going for them. I know they were also talking about coming out with I've even seen them already, where they're trying to put Disney Plus together with Max as a service. So if you're putting it together with something that's already very successful, you're gonna probably continue that success with it. But like I said, I'm hoping that it'll lead to more shows coming on, because I mean, don't get me wrong, we might be a little oversaturated with Star Wars at the moment, and a lot of it may not be very good, but I gotta think something's gotta finally hit the wall and stick, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like even the ones that are getting bad press. Not to mention any names, but I think we know what we're talking about. Yeah, it still put up really crazy numbers. It was the biggest debut that platform has had of any show. So, it's more money towards making more shows is a good thing, regardless of what people thought about that specific show, you know?
Oh, I mean, you also gotta look at it this way. I mean, even with the stuff that's bad, I mean, you still get a chance to see it afterwards. I mean, you never know. People might have a different opinion. Hey, I really good. That. Um, I am hoping somewhere along the way they find. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like I kind of want to see them come back with like good shows, but maybe even every once in a while. I mean, maybe we could throw like maybe there's like some movie that they can make that goes directly to Disney Plus. It doesn't have to be a big theater announcement kind of movie.
Well, that's one thing
Something
that
on a
kind of
smaller
surprises
scale.
me, that it took them this long to turn a profit, because they had those exclusive Disney Plus movies that were Marvel, such as Multiverse of Madness. That was like, as soon as it was in the theaters, you could watch it on Disney Plus.
Well,
And
well
there's
that
another one that was like exclusive to Disney Plus. I want to say, I can't remember what it was, but one of the other movies. So I thought that had like probably produced pretty big numbers, but
well you gotta keep in mind that was also at a time when we were going through the COVID and people still weren't confident going to movie theaters. So
yeah,
kind of almost had to do it.
that's true.
Excuse me.
But
Now,
still, you think like that was a big movie. You think I thought it would have made them a lot of money on Disney Plus, but I guess not.
Well, you can only make so much money on Disney Plus, though. I think like
Yeah.
in
because
total, like during the pandemic, I mean everybody obviously took a hit, but I mean Disney obviously wasn't expecting the pandemic to hit when they launched these things and all that stuff, right? So I obviously that hurt them from you know producing profit earlier on, I guess, but I mean now that it's, you know, they're starting to see it now because of everything, you know, all these movies like the Deadpools and the Marvels that are going to the theaters now, and the box office ticket sales and all that stuff is starting to finally like resonate in the you know, the quarterly profits now. I
Yeah,
mean,
I imagine too, like a startup for something like that is probably quite expensive too. So to try to get out of the hole that they're starting in probably takes some time.
I mean, you gotta figure you're building the infrastructure. You gotta consolidate your library, get that all in there. If you think about it, I mean, there's Star Wars and Marvel when they first started didn't have nearly the volume of options that they currently have now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even though like you go back to the Disney stuff, own and hell, you're swimming in it for years.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they don't decide to quote unquote put back into the Disney vault.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. But even
they still
the
do that temporarily on Disney
yeah.
Plus. Watch it now before it
Yeah.
goes back into the vault. It's like, are you
Yeah.
kidding?
Let's
Just
keep
leave it
taking back out
available.
again in like 3
Like,
months.
leave it available.
Yeah.
But
Generates hype.
I they had also, I don't know when they bought National Geographic.
I think it was along with the startup of Disney Plus.
But I mean,
Another thing
the money they
too
had
that
to.
cost them a lot is at the beginning. I don't know if you guys had Disney Plus when it first came out, but the UI was like broken. It was so glitchy it didn't work very well, and they definitely did a major upgrade to their UI. UI is user interface for anyone who's listening and or like, what is he talking about? Yeah, it got majorly upgraded within the first like I don't know 3-4 months of launch. So that probably cost them a lot of money too.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
So
I mean,
it says here Disney transferred National Geographic Media into Disney Publishing worldwide by August 2019. I don't know if that means they bought it
Oh,
then.
okay. Sounds like they already owned it in a different division or something like that.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but again, yeah, like I said, there had to be a lot of money that went into it. But, and yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna just stop there. But yeah, I don't know what to throw this one.
I mean, like if you look too, like if you go on to Disney Plus, and there's so much stuff on Disney Plus now. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Like
yeah,
I went through it the other day. Like I didn't go through the whole obviously the whole thing, but like you just the main page, and you're scrolling down and you're just like, holy man, like so much stuff on here that people can watch. Like it is so, like the variety is all over the place. And you
yeah,
know, I know
Well,
they own a couple other like, you know, companies as well on that, like Star and like National Geographic and a bunch of
well,
other stuff. But like this year, Doctor Who is another big name coming to Disney Plus, right? So now everything's coming from Doctor Who, and the whole back catalog
eh,
is eventually coming into Doctor Who, which will bring even more subscriptions to Disney Plus.
yeah. If I remember right,
Because
they
you
only
know
have this season there right now,
it's
correct?
just this season right
Yeah,
now, yes. So even for me, like I'm a huge like Doctor Who's. I love Doctor Who, and like if I wasn't paying for Disney Plus right now, I would be paying for Disney Plus when all that catalog comes on, because I love it. Like so, me and other Doctor Who fans will probably do the same thing, right? Like so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm a
there'll
Doctor
be a
Who.
lot of people.
I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm kind of holding out. It's like because I'm seeing all these episodes come out. It's like don't watch any of it. Don't watch any of it. You're not caught up yet. Don't watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Like I'm caught up. I'm caught up totally. Like, but I love going back and watching, and sometimes I find it hard to find the older episodes of Doctor Who because it's been held by BBC for so long, and like it's hard to find a lot of that unless you know the proper streaming places to go to.
Well, it was on Amazon Prime for the longest time, and that was where I started catching up. And it's like then suddenly out of nowhere, while I was working through it, it disappeared. And I was like, "What am I supposed to do now?" So.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Disney Plus, I don't know when this happened, but I'm pretty sure they have exclusivity on Simpsons and Family Guy, which is massive too. I think Netflix
Simpsons.
used to have some of that stuff, but now they don't anymore.
Yeah, they pulled a lot of that in.
That's massive.
I think that was part of when they started with. I think that was part of when they started Disney Plus, because those were the.
Oh.
I believe The Simpsons was there always, ever since they brought it in. But I know one of the big things that they brought in was a lot of things you see now is they integrated a lot of Hulu into Disney Plus as well. So a lot of the Hulu shows that you would normally watch, because they're part of the package, if you're getting that whole Disney package, you get ESPN, Hulu, Disney. Having that integration into there, which I'm surprised they haven't integrated ESPN into the package as well. But it opens things up quite a bit. Because I mean, Hulu covers God knows how many channels, network TV, and their own products,
and anime and stuff.
Yeah. So there's a lot there.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot.
Yeah, I didn't realize that those are kind of also run by the Disney. What do they call it?
Well, a lot of that was picked up.
Direct-to-consumer division.
Well, a lot of that was picked up when Disney bought out Fox.
Oh, okay.
That helped.
Right. Yeah. Simpsons was with Fox.
Yeah.
Simpsons and Family Guy and American Dad
and
that's it.
Oh. I think I've got nothing else to say on the issue. How about you guys? I don't see Disney. I don't see Disney Plus not turning a profit anymore.
Moving on then.
Yeah. Take on the. Where do you want me?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right. So we got the from the. What was it called? D23 last weekend. We got the Skeleton Crew official trailer, released August 10th during D23. The series follows 4 children who end up on adventures to make their way home after being lost in the galaxy. Following a discovery they make on their home planet, Jude Law stars in the series with Ravi Kabak-Conyers, Ryan Kiera Armstrong, Kirana Crafter, Robert Timothy Smith, Tunde Abapimpe, and Kerry Condon, and Nick Frost. So I can't really say I know all those actors.
No,
they're probably
honestly,
the kids.
I put down there, they're all the kids, but I was like, I don't know most of them, but Nick Frost.
But maybe somebody listening might know.
Like if you've seen all the stuff with like Nick Frost, he's done a bunch of stuff with his partner there.
Oh yeah, I see this guy. Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Yes.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead.
Hot Fuzz. Yeah.
Okay.
He's been a part of all of that. So, so he voices the robot that's on the ship in the trailer. So he's the voice of that.
So that'll probably be my favorite character.
The robot,
yeah, I'm always into these like comedic droids. So, it's the best.
That's probably what he's definitely what he's there for.
I have to go back to the trailer, but I don't know, Swamp. I think we might have saw another Gonky droid there.
Oh, really? Nice.
So if that's the case, I mean,
Swamp's eyes just went, what? Gonky?
wait, another gonk where?
Yeah.
He made
What
it
did
to
you guys
live
think
action,
of
guys.
the? What did you guys think of the trailer?
Absolutely. I love it. I can't wait to watch it. For me, like, and they call it a coming. What is it? What did they say?
Coming of age
Coming of age. However
story.
they say it, but like it reminds you of. For me, it reminds me of Goonies. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's I put on my page Goonies in space. That's what I put. Like that's
Yeah.
what it reminds me of. Like all those movies that kids go exploring and like well, I mean, especially the scene with the skeleton that falls in the pit, and
Yeah.
you're like, that's
Yeah, I feel
Goonies,
like that one's
man.
like directly from Goonies.
Yeah, it's like you just the cinematography too. Like it's very Spielberg
One
and
thing with the cinematography I found is it seemed a lot more CGI than I was expecting. Did you guys get that feel as well?
I mean, a little bit, I guess. I mean, practical. I mean, they're gonna do practical stuff with a lot of like the. I would imagine with a lot of aliens, a lot of
Hmm.
scenes with closer up scenes and stuff. They're gonna do practical stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean,
I mean,
hey,
I kind of saw it a little bit with like the way they took the town or the suburb or wherever they were, and
yeah,
trying to make it
the
kind of look
speeder,
a little
yeah,
futuristic. But I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't look overly done to me, so I kind of was okay with it. It's like obviously
I
I don't.
just remember like there's one scene where it shows the kids like all walking together and I'm like, it looks like a video game. Like it didn't look like humans or like live action to me. But
okay, yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I get your point. Like, because when they're on the bikes, when they're like just speeding through the town or whatever it is. I mean, that obviously doesn't look. It looks a little more fake than normal. Like that doesn't really look real, obviously. Um, but for the most part, like that trailer was just you know shots of nostalgia stuff like popping in. You're just like, oh, like they're walking their bikes through the forest, and you're like, that's in every one of those 80s movies, they all have bikes and they all walk them, they don't ride them, and they're
Yeah.
just what I mean? Like, and then
Yeah.
like they get on the ship and like they just go on an adventure. It's like a well, it's not a harmless adventure. They're in great danger, as the guy says. The galaxy is full of danger, or whatever it is. Uh, but man, like I'm on board. Like
Even the part
I
for
really
me,
had a lot of stuff pop up while I was watching that for sure.
like even the part for me is like they're sitting there and the little door opens and they're all looking in. The kid's sitting there and all she's like, "Oh, it looks like a lost Jedi temple." It's like yeah, it sounds like something a kid would say probably around that time.
Yeah, like how do you, yeah, there's a hole in the ground. Oh, it looks like a last Jedi temple. Like,
Yeah.
okay, but
Good
yeah, no.
imagination.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it was just, um, man, it was just so.
Uh,
It brought you back. Like I felt like a kid watching it. I feel like I'm going to be a child watching this show or something, or it's going to remind me of watching these older movies from the 80s. And it's just like it's a fun, adventurous TV show, it seems, with a bunch of kids and obviously Jude Law, who I don't they didn't say that he's a Jedi or anything or whatever. I mean, obviously he's got force powers. He's probably just a force user.
I
You
thought in
know,
the past we had a thing where they confirmed that he was a Jedi.
well, they confirmed his name. I didn't know if they've
yeah,
confirmed
they
what he
confirmed
was.
his name. Everyone has speculated that
Everybody
he's a
wants him to
Jedi,
be a Jedi. Everybody
and
wants him to be a Jedi. Yes.
um, and obviously from the trailer, we know we got a force user on our hands, but
He is, yeah.
and they
But is
definitely
he a Jedi?
they definitely imply that it's Jude Law, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know how they can cut things and different, so
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, just it's a lot of good things. Like, and I'm excited to finally. I'm excited. I was excited finally to freaking see a trailer for one. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
took a
been
long
waiting
time.
so long for Skeleton Crew
Long
to
time
pop
coming.
something out, and almost nothing, and it's what we were speculating too, and a lot of people were speculating too, where once Acolyte was done, then they were like, okay, we have full reign to start like dropping posters and dropping, all the character posters, and here comes the trailer. We can start kind of talking about it now, yada yada.
Yeah, and they
And it
had
yeah,
those
seems like it's like so
at
close.
D23. They
yeah,
had
and
those like mannequins of like 4 bounty hunter looking
Yeah,
characters. So it's kind of
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. It's one of
yeah.
those things that it better have come out if we didn't get an announcement at their big spectacle show. There would have been some upset people.
Oh, where
So
else were they gonna
Yeah.
drop it? Like, there's
yeah,
no place else to drop. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that would have led us to think that there's a problem, which would be, yeah, no good.
wasn't the four bounty hunter thing at Comic Con? Was
Oh,
that
was
Comic
it?
Con, or
Oh, okay.
I'm not
That
sure.
could have
Was
been.
it?
That could have
I
been.
can't remember if it was, because I know Comic
Not
Con
sure.
was pretty much like Comic Con San Diego was pretty much like
At
either
the
like a
same
yeah,
week
time.
or two before
yeah. But I think that
D23,
was
or
a D23 because I don't remember
was it?
anything
Okay.
Star Wars
Yeah.
at Comic Con.
The one thing I think at Comic Con that might have been said was the Disney plan confirms plans, because I don't think the Disney confirmed plans to release 3 new Star Wars movies. I don't think that was done at D23. I think that was Comic Con.
Yeah,
I
because
think
that
they had said that
mentioned
at
that
Comic Con.
well, we would get more
Because
info at
I feel
D23.
like we had said something and we were like, we already know that. They're telling
Yeah.
us stuff we know already. Like, they're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
obviously be dropping 3. We already know it's gonna be 3. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a
I
few
look.
different articles over the past little while about essentially the same thing of them talking about those 3 movies.
So I wonder, honestly, because along with the characters or the actors that are in the movie or the show, Jaleel White, Urkel, we
Hmm.
all know Urkel from Family Matters.
Hmm.
I wonder if one of those characters that are like one of those characters that were there. I wonder if one of like he's playing one of them,
Oh,
because
that could be.
he's still like his is still an undisclosed role for him right now.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
could be.
I think that was the other thing that was exciting about the show too, because like you said, I mean, he could be one of the different creatures that's there, but the amount of different creatures and different species that they brought into the show. I mean, you had the one guy that was shooting the 2 blasters. You had the little owl guy. I remember.
Yeah.
Um, who I'm curious as to who that's supposed to be. So there's a lot of. I feel like without needing to go into this show with like I don't have to sit there and like feel like I'm like pressing into the lore to like for continuity or anything like that. I feel like we're gonna learn a lot about the Star Wars universe by watching this show.
Well, and it's fresh, right?
Yeah,
I know it seems like it's the story is kind of, it's, they're kind of taking things from the 80s or whatever it is, and it feels like that kind of flow, but it's still fresh. It's a fresh story, right? And I know a lot of people are kind of like, I don't know how many people are skeptical about, a show that has mostly kids and all this stuff, uh what that's gonna happen, what they were gonna do, whatever. But I mean, after that trailer, like, for me, I'm like 100% on board with this. um but yeah, I think it's fresh. It's the story. It's not about Jedi, it's not about Sith, it's not about, the Empire, it's not about, all this stuff. It's about this group of kids that goes off on an adventure into the galaxy, gets lost, and the stuff that happens, right? It's just fresh.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'm with you. I'm excited for the show. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a fun ride no matter what. No matter what, and I'm gonna take it for that. I'm gonna sit there. I'm looking at this as just like a kid show. I'm gonna enjoy watching every week, and hey, maybe I'll learn a couple things along the way. Because like I said, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what new planets, species,
Yeah.
everything that they bring into the universe, and who knows where they might pop up again. And
Well, even with those characters that they showed, like the four mannequin characters, the bounty hunters or
Mhm.
whatever they were, like they even said that. I think somebody had said that one of the species that was there, they're like, we haven't even seen this other species except for in two specific scenes or something like that throughout the whole whatever. So like people are excited about that, I guess. I can't remember. I think it's the one that looks like the I don't know the ears pointing up and the cat
Dark
looking thing or
Beast.
the or
almost
the,
Dark
like
the
almost
deep
like
Beast.
the wolf.
yeah the wolf looking
Yeah,
one, yes,
yeah.
that one there, yeah. Like stuff like that, like people who are deep into the lore and know a lot about the species, because there's people out there that are actually
Oh,
like very versed on the species in Star Wars, right?
yeah.
And
Well, I noticed that Wee Kuei, the guy that's like in the center, he's kind of the same species as like Hondo Onaka and a couple other
right.
things. I was thinking that we hadn't seen that on the live action side of things, but there is that bartender at the very beginning of Mando. I guess he's one of those guys. Like, at the opening scene where he like uh runs into those guys and then kills them to get his bounty in the bar. Anyways, obscure things. I was hoping to see that Gorian Shard, aka the Davy Jones, in the trailer, because we had rumors that he might be in this show.
um
I
I
mean,
do believe he's not going to be in it,
Oh,
as
okay.
far as I can tell, because the show is, let's see, the show is set after the events of Return of the Jedi. So it just depends on how far, because I mean, this is in the Mandoverse, so this is
Mhm.
like somewhere's in between Mando and Ahsoka, or somewhere's in there, right? So we know that Gorian Shard did perish in that episode, right? With his
Yeah.
ship. He went down with his ship.
Well, we didn't see the body, but
Well, yeah,
yes.
I guess Star Wars. I guess the body's not there. I guess he might be, but I mean, it is possible. Like it just
Yeah,
depends on
yeah.
what, because we know Vane's in it. So Vane, who was one of the pirates in The Mandalorian, he was in a couple
Oh, okay.
episodes, including that air fight in season. I think it was season 3, the first episode, I think, of The Mandalorian. So he was like in the air. He was in a ship and flying
Oh,
around.
okay.
He didn't go. He didn't get gunned down. So he is in the show, um, but he's probably one episode or two episodes or whatever. Because I'm sure they'll probably run into some pirates at some point, right, in the galaxy. So he might be part. But I mean, it's possible. Like Gorian Shard could still be around, I guess, too. Maybe he's not like that big of a character to like. I mean, they didn't even say
Show
anything
it,
about
hype it
Vane,
up.
because I know said that Vane is in the show, but he's just not listed as the main characters that are going to be around, I guess. So, which tells you that he's probably one episode, or one and a half or something. So I don't know. It'd be cool to see Dorian Shard again, like that was or Davy Jones of the Galactic piracy,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's good. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it.
yeah, like I said, we're gonna be there soon. it's coming around the right time of year, right around Christmas time.
Yep.
Watch it during that and enjoy it. And
we'll have some more stuff to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
right.
Well, I think we've done pretty good this week. I mean, a lot going on with D23,
Well,
so
yeah. Well, D23, but yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of news for sure.
Absolutely. So, moving on from there, see what do we want to go to?
What do we got? So the Andor season 2.
Yeah.
All right. So, so Andor season 2 details revealed at D23 2020 with teaser. Director Krennic and K2SO return confirmed. So it was kind of a thing that I mean, for sure K2SO. There's no way you do a second season of Andor and it's the last season of Andor and you don't bring in K2SO because that was a main main duo in Rogue One, right? So
yeah, and they definitely hinted at him being in it, like without confirmation. We kind of knew he was going to be in there.
Absolutely.
Same with Krennic. I feel like there was either a hint or something at that, or we just kind of thought that anyways.
Well, especially how they're doing it, right? So like they're doing it as we've all known for a while, because I mean I think Tony Gilroy had explained early on that season 2 is going to be broken up into 4 years, like 3 sections into 4 years or whatever it is, leading into Rogue One, right? So
yeah, directly.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be like the 3 episode arcs going into.
Well, and the last 3 episodes is actually the last 3 days going into Rogue One,
which I find exciting.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys. I think that's really exciting. It's like, so basically,
it's neat, man.
You watch those last 3 episodes, put on Rogue One, put on A New Hope, and you've got what? How many hours? Yeah, it's. I like how they're having the. While I don't want to see us continuously go to the same areas for every story, the way that they have attached onto A New Hope to make this feel like a continuous 7-hour story now. Well, now, as of right now, like a 5-hour story, but it's going to be like an 8-hour story by the end of this, well, half-hour episode, it's my mistake. 6-hour episode.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I'm really excited about is they said like 4 years means that we're gonna get 4 times as much stuff happening, and as you guys know, that was my biggest complaint with Andor, is not enough happening for me to be really into it. There was moments that I loved, but it felt like not enough happened in it for me. So to me, 4 times as much sounds awesome.
Well, they're gonna be rolling. They're gonna be rolling fast with this. Like it's gonna be like you're gonna see the progression, and it's gonna be interesting to see the character developments like as they jump the year. That's gonna be the interesting part for me. Like you go those 3 episodes, however it's gonna be the Cassian Andor character, and then it jumps a year, and you're like, okay, so what has happened? Like it's just like where is he at now? And then he jumps another year, and you're like, holy! It's going to be interesting to see that and how they actually play it out. I think.
But I mean, that's the other thing. Like I know when the first season of Andor came out, the first thing they did was they dropped those first 3 episodes together, and I think that was one of the smartest things they ever did. Yeah. Because, like you said, it started slow. It was a very slow burn.
You needed like 3 episodes to get like
Yeah, but that was the thing. It's like once you got that 3rd episode, I was like, okay, now it all makes sense. And it's like if you sat there and got up and walked away after an hour, you kind of almost cheated yourself because it's like see your way through it. You'll thank yourself later. But I even remember at one point they had gone and they had taken that first season of Andor. They put it on ABC. and they only showed the first 2 episodes. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, no, don't force people to only watch 2 episodes of this. They're gonna hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know how well it was received on ABC, but I just remember hearing that. It's like, yeah, I mean, I needed that 3rd episode to bring it all together. So, but it's like after that, it's like I understood. It's like I'm not going to get everything in my face at once, but I'm going to see some good stuff along the way, and I know it's going to make sense at the end. And that's kind of one thing I've appreciated about the show, and I'm hoping that it's going to work out that way again. But yeah, definitely stick to the. If you're worried that you're not going to like it, just make sure you watch it 3 episodes at a time, and you'll make the time, sit down, watch it 3 episodes at a time. You won't be disappointed.
I think this should be the structure for all the TV shows now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you did that with Acolyte, that's half the show, though. So.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? Like, well, no, but I mean, yeah, you have to. Like,
I don't have to watch the next 3.
We're getting 12 episodes with this series. But
that's good.
I mean, if they had this as the structure, like, give us 12 episodes for all of
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And then give us those three series arcs, or I don't know, like something like that. Like, you know, change it up. They're gonna have to change something up because other things aren't working, and or and it's funny because we all remember how up in the air we were about Andor being like coming to being a show on this, and we're like, what's the point? Like, why are we doing a thing on Andor? He's not even. Then everything started to fold, and like we saw the trailer, and we're like, oh man, this looks pretty good. And then we saw the show, and like, I mean, I know Swamp, you're kind of not in the same. Because
I feel pretty much the opposite of that, because for me, Cassian, like, I was very curious about Cassian's story and watching Rogue One.
Right.
And then, so I was like very welcoming of it. I'm like, oh, now we get to learn more about this guy. But then when I watched it, I was like, man, this is slow.
Yeah,
there was cool scenes, and I loved certain moments of it, like I said, but it definitely was a long haul for me to get through it.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna speak for Andy, but I feel like I'm the exact opposite. Like, they announced the Andor show, I'm like, Andor? Guy's dead. Why are we even going back into this story? What do we? It's like we learned everything we needed to learn about him in Rogue One. I don't need any more of this guy. And it went on, and they started talking about the show, and started talking about the cast that's going to come on. It's like, okay, great. I mean, they're bringing Mothma back. All right, that would make sense. I'm okay with that. And then suddenly, like you said, the trailer dropped. It's like, this might be better than I thought it was.
Interesting. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
What's up going here?
But yeah, I mean,
they tell you the structure of it, and like the 3-episode arc thing, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then
they drop those 3 episodes at once, knowing damn well I'm gonna sit through all 3 episodes at once. That's just how I do it. And it's like at the end of the 3rd episode, I'm like, yeah, I was wrong. This is good.
Yeah. And I feel like it would have been a lot different if they would have dropped it like 1 episode at a time, for sure. Like, you wouldn't be. I don't know if I would be as I don't know, dove into it as much, or it might not have resonated enough, like as it did with how it happened, right? Maybe like after you go back and the whole series is done and you watch it the way it was meant to be, and I don't know, it was just done right. Like,
the best example for me was when Marvel released One. They decided we're gonna come out, we're gonna release it 1 episode at a time. It was only like half-hour, 35-minute episodes. And after the first episode, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I just watched. So 2.
Yeah, especially the start of that was so weird.
Yeah, and episode 2 is like, wow, this is even more weird. I still don't know what I watched. Episode 3, I was ready to get up and walk away from it. I was like, I can't take this anymore. It's like I'll give it one more episode. If it don't make sense, it's over. But the fourth episode, it finally came together. It's like if you were gonna tell me it's something that was gonna be that slow of a burn, that it was gonna take half the season for me to actually get into understanding what was going
Even
on,
comprehend what was happening.
yeah. Then you needed to play all 4 episodes. It's like even when I went to recommend it to people, it's like if you're gonna just watch one episode, don't do it. Make the time. You gotta watch 4. You gotta watch the first 4 all together, or your mind's gonna be like, what did I just do? Why did I waste my time?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually seen a really awesome meme that's like, I made a new movie. It's 5 hours long. You want to watch it? Hell no. What if I broke it up into 10 episodes and you could binge it? Oh, I'm in. I'm in.
Right? Like, it's the same damn thing. Like, people are stupid. Man.
It's not wrong though. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Hell no, I'm not watching that. What if I break it up into 10 episodes? Oh,
it's just
I'm in. I'm in.
You go into a drive-through. Okay, you go into a drive-through. Okay, and they have these like specials on. It's like for instance, like Tim Hortons. Okay, so Tim Hortons would have a coffee and a donut on for like I don't know whatever, like $3 or $4, whatever. And then, but if you don't look, because sometimes I'll look at price of the deal, and then you go back and you look at the individual prices of the
right. Yeah, to see how much of a deal it is.
How much of a deal it is, and like I swear, like Tim Hortons doesn't like. I don't know if they do anymore. I don't go there often anymore, but it used to be back in the day where they would just, it would still be the same price in the individual, but because it says deal here, people will be like, oh my gosh, this is such a deal, like I kind of remind just like
yeah it's like when it's like, oh, 2 pops for $3 or 1 for $1.50.
Yeah, right,
okay.
anyways, so but no, that's funny. That is funny. People just so stupid. So this is so we know Ben Mendelsohn's coming back as Krennic. Alan Tudyk is coming back for K2SO. Forrest Whitaker's coming back. Saw Gerrera. Andy Serkis is coming back. Kino Loy. Genevieve O'Reilly. Mon Mothma. And Stellan Skarsgård. Luthen Rael. Plus, apparently there's a undisclosed role for Benjamin Bratt that I found as well. So
wait, what was it? You said Benjamin Bratt?
Benjamin Bratt, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a name I hadn't heard of. Looking into, pretty much all the only character that I don't know how it fits in at this point is Andy Serkis with Kino Loy.
Yeah.
Because of where he was left.
I can't swim. Well,
yeah. So wherever he pops in and makes sense, great. Because I think his character was a great character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't have. It's not that I have a problem with him coming in. It's just I'm very curious as to how they're going to bring him in. Krennic, I could have gone either way, because obviously, as this, I don't need to see him in the first 3 episodes, even the first 6 episodes.
I don't figure we'll see him until the last 3. I think.
Yeah, I figured too. I could see like the last two years. Maybe they start building that story of the Death Star going into that last season, going into that last 3 episodes. But even if they hadn't specifically brought him in and just kind of gave us allusions to the Death Star, I would have been okay with it. But absolutely happy to see him, because he was
absolutely,
whatever you have to say. Krennic was a great character.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm not saying I don't want to see him. Just saying I didn't have to see him. Everyone else, yeah, absolutely. God, if they didn't bring Lutheran Rail back, I'd be angry.
Yeah, right.
Which, speaking of which, if you any of you guys that are playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, congratulations on getting your Lutheran Rare character tomorrow. as of this moment, you will be getting him tomorrow.
Yay!
I did see a thing that somehow like 20 people already have them. It's cheaters.
well, they make it
Yeah.
possible to buy extra shards along the way. So
No.
his wasn't available.
Oh, in the shop, yeah,
Yeah.
like, but only through like earned through that game mode. Like those extra shards are needed to get the unlock
Huh, okay.
at the end of that. So it's like, yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. It's possible people cheated, but
Hackers.
Yeah.
Hackers.
So it goes.
But yeah, I want to
So
remind you guys of a prediction that I had during the last season of Andor. You know how he had that little droid or the lady? What was it? His mom or something? Or like a mother figure.
The sad little, the sad little.
Yeah. So he had that droid.
B2ME, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. My prediction is something is going to happen to that droid, and then its consciousness is going to be put into an Imperial droid, and that's K2SO. That's my prediction.
It could work. Could work.
I won't argue the idea. I'm sure they could.
Because he does seem to have like a relationship with the droid.
Does, yeah.
Hey, but again, K2SO, that's a character that better have been here because, I mean, considering they're a duo.
Yeah.
We need to know where it came from. We need to know how that started. I think sooner they get that done, the better in this series, in this season.
Yeah.
I'd like to more because I'd want to see the two of them working together as it goes through, not just like
period of the series. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see it like with a year to go. Suddenly, that's where he finds it. That'd be disappointing. That'd be disappointing.
I don't want to see it in the last one. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, I feel like what could happen too is like they could all pile it into the last three episodes too, like Ben Mendelsohn and K2SO and whatever. But I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't think it would be smart. But
it's like I don't want to. I agree. I don't want to be introducing characters at that point. I want the story to be flowing at that point.
Right.
I want everything to be going. I want everything to be ready. It's like introduce Mendelsohn the year before and show that what's going on is going on.
Like at this point right now, I can't. I have to rewatch. I feel like I have to rewatch Andor season 1. But the last episode, like, is he going to jail? Was he going to jail?
I believe he was. But
yeah,
I feel like something might happen.
Catch up. It's been a while.
With the droid, that something he'll be able to, like, maybe this is how he like escapes jail. Like he converts one of these K2SO robots into that helps him get out or something.
Possibility. But I'm with the idea. But I mean, speaking of rewatching the season, I definitely want to rewatch it before I get to the second season myself.
We get time.
Yeah.
Maybe
I will like it a lot more the second time watching it. It's possible.
Or maybe we can get on the Discord and do a watch party or something. Might be something interesting to do. Either way. Alright. Let's move on to the next story here. Looks like this says everything. I'm gonna skip that one. I'm gonna go on to this one here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just because this one's a little more
stuff we already knew.
No, it's new information, but it's just because it's only a link.
Okay.
So Friday, news came out of the game developer Quantic Dream. They were the guys who created Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, and they're also the people that are behind the game Star Wars Eclipse. That was announced 3 years ago. And it was
with an awesome trailer.
Yeah, it was a great trailer. But we just found out Friday that their lead writer for the game, Adam Williams, is leaving the studio to form his own studio. And is basically taking part of the studio with him. It says here, Williams put on his LinkedIn, after almost 10 years of Quantic Dream, I am leaving to found a new studio together with a group of very talented designers and developers. Which it's tough. So
yeah, I thought I had heard at some point that the like after that trailer, right after that trailer came out, the guy who owns the studio just tried to sell it right away because of the hype from the trailer, and that's why things got so messed up. It's because this guy's like wishy-washy.
And I don't know enough about the game company, but if before this news came out, if you had brought up Star Wars Eclipse, I would have almost said, "Wait, what? What's Eclipse again?" I mean, not for nothing. That trailer came.
Radar.
Yeah, the trailer came out 3 years ago. It was a great trailer. I watched it again today. It's still a great trailer.
Yeah,
we've heard nothing about it. We've heard nothing about it, and it's like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't hear about something for 3 years. It ain't happening no more. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this like, oh, so the lead writer's leaving. Okay. You were still working on this?
Yeah. And how much did you do in the last 3 years? Like,
yeah.
Is this story written?
But we
don't even know, right?
And that's
maybe
the thing.
Maybe this game is already like ready for launch, and they just haven't like put it together or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like they're talking about here in the story. It's a vice president of marketing told IGN where the story came from at IGN back in September of last year that the game still exists. It's just not ready. It's simmering. Okay, I don't know what simmering means. Does that mean that you guys are actually like trying to put an effort into it? It's just sitting in the background and nobody's working on it at all. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen. But at this point, you've just lost your lead writer. You've lost part of your team to a group that's leaving to go make it their own studio instead. They're not finishing this project first. We going to have a project to finish? Are we going to find out in a week that this game's permanently on the shelf? I'm just kind of curious at this point. Which is a shame, too, because when I looked at that trailer, it looked like a game I would want to play.
The trailer looks fantastic, yes.
Yeah.
But my feeling about this is going to be, I think they're probably going to shelf it for a bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, like if you look, I feel like they put so much into that trailer too. Like that's a crazy amount of material in that trailer. And I mean, it's all cinematic scenes, and that's fine. Like it's stuff you can do without adding gameplay and all that stuff, which is fine. Like, but man, that trailer is like, it's nuts. But for some reason, I feel like it's going to be a while before we even hear about this again.
And it's also just, I mean, when this trailer came out, none of us really saw it coming.
No.
It was kind of a surprise. For me, it was a surprise when it came out. It was like, It's like, wait, what's this? Wait, this is Star Wars? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, I remember being like, "Oh, this is that High Republic stuff they were talking about," because they kept saying, "Oh, we're in the era of the High Republic, and there's going to be all this content." And I was like, "Oh, is this it?"
Yeah.
You know, is it finally here? And
Is it
then,
here?
yeah, it just turned
We
out to
haven't?
just be a trailer. That's it. So, but I also at that time didn't know that they were planning on doing it mostly as books and comic books to start. So.
Yeah, I tend to almost. I mean, it leads to a lot of questions. I mean, I tend to almost wonder if this could be part of the backlash from a show that we don't want to talk about as well. Seeing that was technically the High Republic, and I mean,
Yeah.
the High Republic itself hasn't really been as popular as Disney, I think, wanted it to be. Not to say that the stories aren't any good, because I really wouldn't know. I haven't really read any of them. Well, I've read about a quarter of the very first book,
Oh,
and
okay.
I just had, it didn't look bad. It just, it seemed all right. It's just, how do I put it best? It's stuff. It's an era I don't know. It's characters I don't really know. Um, they kind of took some liberties with the Force, which I kind of really feel like I need to go back and read through, kind of understand what they were trying to do. Um, but it's not like I'm saying, "Oh God, this is terrible. I can't read this. This is garbage." It wasn't that. It just stuff I need to go back and understand a little better. That's about it.
Yeah, there's I mean if you read what it says, like I feel like he's the only one leaving this studio though too. I don't think he's like taking anybody with him. Because I mean, he's found together with a group of very talented designers and developers. So I mean, it's possible that he might take one or two, probably from. Who knows? I have no idea. The way that he's like stating to, you know, he's already been in touch with many of the guys at Quantic Dream and Lucasfilm to thank you for everything on Detroit and Eclipse. It's been a great adventure. It doesn't seem like he's leaving on bad terms, but I mean, this could be just what he needs to say, or I don't know. Like
Yeah. And
it
like I
seems
said,
weird. It
I was
seems
under
weird.
the impression the studio had already fallen apart because of that scandal that I was talking about that I heard at like probably just a rumor or
Yeah, it
whatever,
could be
but
that too.
that's kind of the impression I had gotten when I heard that he was trying to sell it right after the trailer and stuff, but you know, this could be the fallout of that if that is the case.
Yeah, that's true
So,
too. It could be it,
yeah. Yeah.
but
But hopefully that's not the case. I would love to see this game come to fruition
yeah.
one day,
It's
like
just sad.
based
Yeah,
on that
it is
trailer.
sad, and
I,
it's sad that it happens to the Star Wars fans because we want this game
Hmm.
now. Like, and I feel like this is not the first time this Star Wars games has been pushed back, right?
well,
Hmm.
I think it's just it just plays into the whole narrative that we've gotten with Star Wars since Disney's taken over. It's just like, here we announce something. Oh, here it's being pushed back. Oh, here now it's gone altogether. Well, here's something else we announced. Here's something else that's being pushed back. Something else being put on the shelf. Here's another movie or TV show that we're talking about. Again, pushed back now on the shelf. It just feels like a constant loop that with so many things that we've been excited for with Star Wars, and I mean the original Boba Fett movie. We're excited for that. Pushed back and shelved. We had a movie with the Game of Thrones guys. Even though that one might be a blessing in disguise after what they did with the last season of Game of Thrones. Pushed back, shelved. He who shall not be named. and
doesn't this
and so on and so forth
into our next story?
It does. That's a great segue.
Sure, let's go with it. Let's go with it.
One thing I want to say before we go into it, I just want to say to Star Wars, keep your stuff to yourself from now on. Okay, if you don't know if it's going to be released 100%, don't tell us, please.
I agree with you 100%.
My heart cannot take it anymore.
But then we don't have drama to talk about on the podcast.
Gosh, man,
but you know what? At the same time, do we want to continuously keep talking about this drama?
Are we not getting Rogue Squadron? Are we getting Rogue Squadron? Are we not getting Rogue Squadron? Are we getting Rogue Squadron?
Is TW making a movie?
Is TW making a movie? Is he not making a movie? Is he making a movie? Is he not making a movie? Sean Levy's making a movie now. Okay, is he actually going to make a movie?
Right. Yeah. Is that going to be pushed back and then canceled?
That's where I would love to see a Sean Levy movie, but is it going to be? You know what I mean? Like it's just another one that they're just saying, he's making a movie. Is it real? Is it real? You know, so much they're pulling our heartstrings, man. It's just like I don't have any heartstrings left. Like very little. Okay, it's just
It's like, or at least if you're going to do it again. Give me a couple wins first. Give me a couple movies that are actually good before you do it again. Let me settle down a little bit.
Don't give us the accolade. What? Sorry, let's move on.
And that being said,
name drop. Come
on, Leslie. Be better.
Do better, Miss Headland. Anyways, so speaking of shows pushed back and canceled, Lando showrunner admits he's still grieving over canceled Star Wars series. The original Lando showrunner, Justin Simeon, recently opened up about his grieving process after the Star Wars series was canceled. Lucasfilm was developing a Disney Plus series that would have focused on a young Lando Calrissian from Solo: A Star Wars Story, with Simeon as the project showrunner. However, the plans were eventually shelved, and the series was redeveloped into a feature film. Donald Glover and his brother Stephen Glover took over the project in its new iteration. In a recent interview, Simeon shared his feelings over the cancellation of Star Wars spin-off series Lando. He admitted he's still grieving as the loss took an emotional toll on him. It was pretty developed. Yeah, there was a Bible, there was concept art, there was scripts. It just wasn't meant to be. I get over it. I'm in therapy a lot, he said. For me, the answer is that you have to really face it. It is true grief. I've never had a child. I've never lost a child, but it's what I imagine the pain might be like.
What?
You pour so much of your heart and soul into something, but ultimately you don't have control over whether it lives or dies. And it is a true grieving process. Man, this guy sounds tough. Simeon emphasized the importance of accepting loss, and despite the pain that he is feeling, he still found solace in the experience that he gained in the development as he moved forward to other projects. For me, it has to be done pretty straight on, like I am in grief. I do not feel good. I have to let myself feel those feelings, he added. There's so much that I experience that I get to keep forever and take to the next project. I can obviously take the storyline or the IP or the characters. Oh, I can't, obviously. I read that wrong. I'm like, what? No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. Star Wars.
But there's so much more that I got as a maker that is mine, and that's mine. Sorry, it's too late. You can't take that part back. Fortunately, Simeon has found his next big IP project to work on, as it was recently announced that he is developing a live-action Star Trek comedy series alongside Tawny Newsome. Simeon's remarks about the grieving on the project were understandable since he put his heart and soul into making this series happen, and his efforts didn't pan out in the end. he also made the right point about processing grief, and which should be helpful for every person who might be undergoing a similar situation. Whether it's loss of a passion project or not, it will always be be a difficult situation for anyone involved. So, yeah. This guy sounds like a bitch. No, what?
Comparing it to like having a kid. I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
I mean,
Oh, it definitely is. It's just it's exact same as a kid, right?
I get the grief. Yeah, right. I get the pain and the grief, I guess. I mean, I God forbid anything ever happened, but like, yeah, I mean, I've never felt that kind of grief. I get crazy nervous and stuff when my kids are off doing stuff on their own. Like that's a whole different story too. Like, um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like this
Well, the weird thing to me, like artists, that's what you do is you pour your heart and soul into projects that don't go anywhere. That's the whole like becoming an artist, right?
Yeah.
So like,
It's
what
like
did you
it's like
just skip straight to success?
it
Like,
sounds like this is like his first go at it, and he's like, oh,
yeah,
no, I hit rock bottom and yada yada. I'm like, I don't know, man.
it's like snap out of it, buddy.
Yeah, move on, man.
yeah.
Like seriously, like you probably have like a desk full of things you direct or whatever it is, or write, or a bunch of ideas.
I mean,
Now the Star Trek one,
go ahead.
I'll watch it.
You'll watch
Oh.
it.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't have it. I just want now the Star Trek one. Yeah, I want to see that one. Move on.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
I guess the one thing I'll go with this is, I do think that they said that this was. I do. If I remember when this announcement was, it was kind of like they didn't really. I think he was blindsided by this one.
That's right. They did.
Well, I think he was on
Yeah.
strike, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that during the strike? And
Yeah,
like this
and
dude was sitting there whining about his hours that he had to work and stuff. So now you wanna, yeah, like, come on.
But if I remember correctly, like they just kind of like pulled this from under him when he was apparently probably
they
working
sent him
on
a
it.
Twitter or
Was
something
this
like
a
that.
Twitter feed or something? Like
Yeah.
Twitter post?
Yeah.
He was like fired on Twitter.
Apparently, he was very deep into this. I'm looking at the sign here. It was pretty developed. Yeah, there was a Bible. There was concept art. There were scripts. I mean, there was a Bible. It's Lando Calrissian. I could almost see this. It's like I'm almost. It's like as I'm hearing him say that part, it's like, yeah, I could see Lando Calrissian with the Bible, like some kind of like pimp Bible or something.
Yeah, like
Like it's on like purple velvet.
Yeah, with like his adventures or whatever sitting in it or whatever.
One of his capes is wrapped into it. Like
yeah, pictures of like a sabacc hand on the front or something.
But it's like after all that, I can understand. I can understand your grief. I can understand you being upset that you project, especially if it's something. I don't know enough about the guy. I mean, I know like he's been attached to some pretty popular stuff apparently. But I don't know. Maybe this guy was deep in Star Wars. Maybe he's really wanted the Star Wars project. In which case, I feel bad for you, man, because you lost out. I mean, I mean, at the same time, we haven't heard much about a Lando movie, and from what rumors have been floating around, this movie's now on the shelf too. It ain't ever happening. So,
like, I feel like if this guy was so upset about it, reach out to Donald Glover, tell him you want to be a part of the project. Like, you know, there's still other ways. Like, you don't have to just like, you know,
talk about it.
Yeah, sulk and cry into your I don't know.
Into your script book.
Yeah.
They didn't pick me. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, I don't even know. Maybe he's worked with them in the past. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
possibly.
I don't know. But like I said, I mean, I'm looking at it. It it just seemed out of nowhere that this story came out. It's like
Yeah.
suddenly we're hearing about him, and it's like why is this suddenly coming out? Um, but like I said, somewhere behind it, suddenly we were getting the rumors have been flying. Like I said, that movie ain't happening now either. So maybe you should have just left the project with him to begin with, and he might have made it, and it might have actually happened. Unless somewhere along the way, Donald Glover decided I'm not playing Lando anymore, or Billy D. Williams came out and finally said that's about enough. We don't need any more Lando.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
I still say there was a gold mine there. if you really wanted to play it right, you had them both playing the role, but that's gone now.
Well, I think it would have been probably easier to develop a TV show rather than try to shove this movie in somewheres where there's not a lot of room for these, for another Star Wars movie to be released in the next like 4 years or five. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Also, with another one of these like artistic, ultra busy superstars being at the helm of it, like Donald Glover, like he's another TW type that probably has a billion projects going.
yeah,
You know.
more than likely, and he has a music career that's still going too, right? So he's
No,
music.
I think he ended that actually.
Yeah, I don't think he does a music career
I
anymore.
believe so.
I thought he did another album recently.
Oh,
Did he?
really? Yeah. No, I thought I
I'm
seen that he
pretty sure. Maybe he didn't.
retired the Childish Gambino,
Okay.
but that could be after doing an album too.
Maybe.
But
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, he does seem like a guy that needs to always have something going on, right? So I feel like like you said, he's probably has like 18 projects on the go. Like,
yeah,
No, let's see.
and I wouldn't imagine Star Wars is probably his number one priority either.
yeah. Honestly, I think this
Which I would be
article, like
surprised by because
what
he
you were
wasn't.
saying, like where did it come from? I think this is like intentionally a plug for that Star Trek show after having read it.
So
And that's where it comes from.
I'm gonna say right now though, I'm partially surprised by that though because when they came out that he was playing Lando Calrissian, he seemed completely on board with the idea. He wanted to be Lando Calrissian. So the idea of now here's your movie, go for it. I would figure he would have been all in on it, considering it's a character he loves and he wanted to be.
Well, especially because he's the one who said, I want to do this show. You guys got a writer's strike. I want to do it. Like, okay, do it, bro. Like, where is it? Where's this effort that you're going to put into it, bud?
I was gonna say, though, I will say, I know not too long ago, Billy D. Williams came out and said, I am the only Lando Calrissian, or something like that. I don't remember exactly where it was.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. It was like on social media or something. He was acting very old manish about it. He's like,
Wesley Snipes just did that too. I'm the only.
Yeah, that one was a bit weird because it was like, what other Blade is there? I don't know of any other Blade other than like cartoons and comic books.
Well, there's
another Blade movie that's supposed to be coming out.
The Blade movie that's coming out, yeah.
That's
okay.
now that's
it's not rumored
to be shelved as well.
Oh.
Wesley Snipes has something to do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making another Blade. I'm the only one.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Go ahead. Oh no, you go ahead because
I'm
yelling.
I was gonna say, I think there's only one story. There's only one story left here. So.
Where?
I think that was the last one.
No, it's just, we got a list of everything we need to know about Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh right, yeah, that's right.
Okay. right. I thought when you said you skipped it, you were skipping it.
No. I was just skipping over it because the one story underneath was kind of the way it looked. It was
okay.
I figured I kind of put it there like that. I probably take it on.
Gotcha.
But we did have an again. D23 came around. Mandalorian Grogu. We had some news on it. There was a sizzle reel. Like I said, nobody really got to see it unless they were there at D23, or you caught a leak on YouTube or something like that.
And
So the things that we currently know about the Mandalorian Grogu movie. First off, it's going to release May 22nd, 2026. I think we established that earlier in the show. It's going to continue directly on from The Mandalorian Season 3. Let's see, as far as casting crew, we do know Pedro Pascal obviously is Din Djarin. I would assume the two guys that do the stunts, I don't know, that would both be in there as well, playing the roles, because Pedro Pascal, unless the helmet has to come off, just really does the voice. But we'll have Steve Bloom, the talented and great voice actor, playing Zabarelios, which I'm kind of excited to see him in this movie.
Yeah.
We should have Katie Sackhoff back as Bo-Katan. Emily Swallow back as the Armorer. Then they're showing we should have at least the sighting of Lars Mikkelsen as Grand Admiral Thrawn, which that excites me because it kind of makes me wonder how much of that side of the story are we going to see.
Well, apparently he's the main antagonist of the show, right?
Well,
I think I read that somewhere.
Well, but keep in mind, from what I've read so far, they were talking about going on and doing more bounty hunter type stuff. Then
That's not what I heard. I heard it was like boots on the ground, like Republic versus Empire.
oh, let's take a look and
Like
see where it
war
goes.
show.
Maybe that's something I missed. But
Oh, okay.
then there's Paul Sun-Hyun Lee, who's playing Carson again. They said there's speculation that Mary Elizabeth Winstead's Harrison Dula and Amon Esfandi's Ezra Bridger will be in that show as well. But no, we shouldn't see Ahsoka Tano or Sabine Wren, because at this point they should still be off on the other side of the galaxy in Peridia. Yeah. Let's see. Summary: Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin and Grogu are heading to the big screen. We'll pick up from the end of Mandalorian Season 3. Din Djarin now working for the New Republic and facing the Imperial Resurgence. Okay, that's my mistake. I thought from what I read somewhere it was going to be more of them pushing into taking on harder, like, bounty hunter jobs because of, but maybe they're doing that for the New Republic, and that's kind of what leads them into where they are. So
yeah, well,
we'll see where that
remember
goes.
at the end of season 3 too, or 3 as well, how they basically present this application as like, we want to hunt down these Imperial remnants in the Outer Rim, and then Carson Teva's like, yeah, I think we could make something like that happen,
Okay. Yeah, so
I
maybe
feel like that kind of set up the idea that they'll be, hunting down these Imperial remnants. So should be interesting.
Let's see. Gave Din Djarin a career. He's no longer a simple bounty hunter, but instead is working primarily for the. It can be better, and the Silk revealed Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yeah, all this makes sense. Trying to see if there's anything here that isn't we haven't already said.
the two stunt doubles, Brandon Wayne and Lateef Crowder.
Yes. I would assume both of them would be confirmed for the show as well.
I would 100% think that they're going to be
Yeah.
there. Yes.
Yeah, because I remember they also won some kind of award as like best whatever action stunt team coordinators or whatever. It's crazy.
Some people don't get a lot.
Yeah, something that we don't hear a lot about, really. Outstanding stunt coordinator. Oh, that was just the coordinator. Oh yeah, outstanding stunt performance. Lateef Crowder, Paul Darnell, JJ Donshaw, and Ryan Ryusaki for Chapter 24, The Return.
Oh, dude,
and they won that.
Because you have Brandon Wayne in there. Was even Brandon Wayne was Lateef Crowder.
Yeah, I guess it's just for that one specific episode that they won the reward, but still
I think the only other
speaks to the value of their stunt performance.
Right.
the only other real main thing that it mentions here is that apparently it looks like Sigourney Weaver was also in talks.
Oh, yeah.
I
know we did hear something about her. Yeah.
And I mean they have not made an official announcement yet, but I can't see any way you could put her in this show and it would be a bad thing. So I'm gonna pretty much leave it at that and say make the announcement. So
do it, Disney. Come on.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know who she would play. I'll leave it at that. But
yeah,
I would welcome her into the Star Wars universe.
I could even see her in a role like the on Tatooine, that lady with the droids that works on the ships. I could see her like being friends with her or something, you know.
You know. Now that you bring her up, she's another person I would expect to see on this movie.
Oh, me too.
Especially after we just.
But then again, they're also going to the Outer Rim, so maybe not, right? Like it's possible, maybe not.
But we're talking about the return of the Razor Crest.
That's true.
So even if it's a short 5-minute cameo of her just saying, "Here's your Razor Crest."
Yeah, or her like bonding with Din as usual.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that being enough. So, but outside of that, I don't know who else. I mean, I can't think of who else you would bring into the fold here.
Asajj Ventress. No, I'm just joking.
And there it is.
Out there. She's still out there.
I mean, I will say, what was it? There is rumors flying around that there was a Asajj Ventress show.
Yeah.
Because
when they did talk about her coming to the Bad Batch there, I remember they did say that they're gonna explore her story more in a different show or different movie or something.
Well, that's where we all thought like they're gonna do a Tales of the Sith or something like.
Yeah, or Tales of the Bounty Hunters or something along those lines.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But I know they did a big panel about the Lucasfilm animation at D23. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday. It wasn't the day that all the announcements came out. But they didn't announce anything. It was just basically talking about what they've done.
But
and considering
I feel like we are going to get, and I think they did bring it up somewheres, and I feel like we've talked about it briefly about Rex and about Echo.
Another show.
Do another animation series with these guys, right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong,
that would be a good spot for her.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I agree with you because obviously there's a lot of stories left to tell, and obviously you don't make an animation division to not tell these stories.
Right.
But I'm just at the point where you did a whole panel at D23, didn't announce anything. Even if it was just to say, "Hey, we're starting work on this." So I don't think we're gonna. If we're gonna get something, now we're probably not gonna hear it until Celebration.
I fear the same thing. Well, not fear, but I feel like it's going to be, like I said, Japan is going to be bumping, man. Like Celebration is going to be massive. I feel like we're going to get a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
and it's going to be so exciting.
It's weird because it kind of went from a show where people were not expecting much when it was first announced, and now it's like, oh, there's gonna be a lot there. Gonna be a whole lot there, and it has me almost wondering about the next celebration after that, wherever it ends up, because actually, being that this one's away, then the next one will probably be in the United States.
It should be in North America, yeah.
Yeah, that one I think is gonna be even bigger, because obviously 2026 movies, provided it's in 20. So I can't see why it wouldn't be with everything that's coming up 2026, 2027, 2028. It should be, yeah, I think we're gonna. I think the next couple celebrations are gonna be pretty huge.
I just wish, like I know when D23 was happening, you and I were kind of in the Discord and we were kind of like talking back and forth about what was coming up next or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I wish, I wish there was a direct feed, like a streaming feed that was in there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's
you always want it to be, and I understand because they want, some of the people outside the room knowing some of the exclusive footage that they're dropping just for the people in there or whatever it is.
But that's the thing. It's like, I remember they did what was it? Disney did like a shareholder call that was like a whole show presentation, and it was something like that. And even for Celebration, when they do those on YouTube, they'll sit there, they'll let you see the panel, you can watch the panel as it's happening, but the second they get to the important stuff, trailer, that's when they kick out to the guys outside for a second while that happens, and then they go back in afterwards. So, what was wrong with doing it that way?
Yeah, right.
I would imagine like what they do with that though is like has a production cost associated with it and like a team that puts that all together as well. So it's not like easy to do.
But my thing is, you're willing to go through that much trouble for Celebration, but
it's
for something like D23, where you're showcasing all of Disney, you're not. Yeah. You suddenly can't afford it.
Like Disney D23 is ultimately Disney's big event every year. Like this is where they release everything this isn't every. They don't do like celebrations every 2 years. Like Disney 20 whatever it is, every year they have this event, right? And like it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger because a couple years ago I wasn't really focused on these the D20 whatever's, but now they just seem to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the company like continues to pull stuff in and whatnot. So I feel like it'd be nice, it'd be nice to see a live stream and not rely on some guy who's actually in there, because this is what we were doing. I was watching a podcast and one of the guys from the podcast was actually in the live event. He was there and he was messaging the guys in the podcast back, and they were doing the podcast live on YouTube telling everybody else what's going on, right? So that's how we were getting all the information, right? But it would just be nice to have that direct feed, and then if there is any live exclusive footage that they don't want to show the outside world, then they just cut to whatever else on the outside and then bring you back in after.
Yeah,
it would be easy. It would be easy.
Like I said, I mean, they don't have a problem with doing it for Celebration. Why would it be a problem for D3? But like you said, I mean, ever since ever since D23 became a thing, I mean, you're starting to see them pulling back and going into their own thing where Disney is pretty much producing their own stuff. I mean, and for how many years now had it been? I mean, that they, I mean, Lucasfilm and Marvel had left San Diego Comic Con, and they weren't putting shows on there anymore.
Right.
And those were the biggest shows of the year for those two, because I mean, you had everybody going in. What is it, Hall H they call it? That everybody, where all the big announcements are made. And it's just, I was more surprised that Marvel went back there this year. And they made some massive announcements there. I'm kind of wondering why they. Well, I mean, I kind of almost understand now, because with what Marvel did, I mean, they went to their movies with what they did at Comic Con, whereas at D23 they went into their TV shows more. But they're big enough that they could do it that way. Star Wars, on the other hand, they pulled back entirely because, well, we have Celebration. We can make our big announcements there, and whatever on the side we're going to put into D23 can go there. But my thing is, if you're going to go into D23 with announcements given, I understand Celebration is coming up, but it's D23 still almost felt like a little bit of a letdown for at the end of the day, because all we really got news about, we only heard about three things: Skeleton Crew, Andor, and the Mandalorian and Grogu. Don't get me wrong, I'm not mad about what I learned.
Maybe that was their plan all along, because Celebration's coming up soon, right? So,
but I'm just saying, I mean, Celebration better be one hell of a celebration, because I mean, we have, like I said, we don't know much about TV shows coming up. We don't know much about any kind of animation. We know about our movies, but we're starting to hear about more people coming in and making movies. I'd like more news. I'd like to know what some of these movies are about. Or at least I'd like to have more information other than it's just Rey in there. Or I mean, obviously we got a little bit about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Like I said, I'm not mad about that. But I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to get that itch now. Where I want some more information. It's like things are starting to actually happen here. So I'm hoping we get more.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's the hoping that Celebration is great.
under a year, It's
Yeah.
like 6 months. I think it's like a little over 6 months away.
Yeah. Well, we'll be a couple. We'll have a couple more shows down the tube by that point as well.
Just one or two, I think. Yeah.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to talk about today, or I know it's getting late. It's a Sunday night.
I'm good. I don't really have anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, not really. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when is Andor supposed to come out again? Season 2?
They don't have a
Oh,
like an official release yet, but they're
okay.
saying it's going to be early 2025.
Oh, okay.
Early,
Sounds
like,
good.
I would
yeah.
Yeah,
figure.
and then
I
Skeleton
figure.
In the
Crew is
first,
December, right?
definitely in the first quarter. I'm pretty sure in the first quarter of.
I'd say probably no earlier than February though,
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it'll be
because
like February,
Skeleton
March.
Crew's going to carry over into January.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So once that's done, I feel like they're gonna start talking more about, or we'll start to see
When
like and/or yeah. But yeah,
sounds good.
probably
Sounds good.
March.
Okay. I mean, that we had ourselves a nice little show here. We recapped a lot with D23, speculated a lot about a lot of things, and I don't know. I enjoyed the chat. I don't know about you guys.
We hit it out of
Boys.
the park, boys.
Also, now that Acolyte is out of the way, we didn't have to get all negative.
Oh,
It felt
gosh,
felt
I'm
really
so
positive
happy.
and nice.
So happy that I don't have to talk about Leslie Headland anymore.
Ah,
Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah, that was good. That was
please!
good.
I don't want to see. I really.
Oh,
Any,
you cut out there. I didn't hear what you said.
or was it an intentional cutout?
It's the end of the. It's the end of the show. I can cut out if I want. No, I don't want to see any more Leslie Headland anything.
Yeah,
Like in the news feeds, nothing ever again.
ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't want to see her again. I really don't. She's bad for the industry.
And there it
I'm
is,
sorry.
folks. There it is,
I'm
folks.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I really, yeah. Let's just.
What if she's in the
move
news, like
on.
in
Let's
handcuffs,
just
going into
move
jail
on.
for something?
If it's her and Kathleen Kennedy at the same time, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. On that
I'm
note,
sorry, let's
on that
just
note,
go
I'm gonna
on.
segue
Hold
that
on,
into
let's
calling this an episode. Calling this the 13th episode of the Shadow Collective. Guys, Swampgrass, start with you. Where can we find you, bud?
I'm on Twitch almost every day, streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes as well as Marvel Strike Force at twitch.tv/swampgrass420. And yeah, just there all the time. So you can find me there. I also have a Discord and stuff. But yeah, pretty much that's the main place you can find me, other than here as well as my co-hosts here.
Okay. Andy Beads, where can we find you, bud?
I am also on Twitch. Not there all the time like Swamp is, but I'm Thursday nights. I'm 6 p.m. Eastern time start time, and Saturday mornings 7 a.m. Eastern time. And we play Marvel Snap. We're not I don't do any Star Wars stuff. It's actually a Marvel Snap card game. So I have a lot of fun with that.
Good game.
And
Good game.
did I say where I? No, it's yeah, it's probably on the screen, but it's yeah, Andy_Beads is my Twitch handle. Where can I find you on Twitch? What's your handle? Oh. It's not my
I'm
first time
there.
doing this,
I'm there.
guys.
As soon as you go to Twitch, you'll see me on the front
You'll
page.
see me
No?
right there. My face will be like.
Oh boy. Alright, and I am Darth Eldor. You can find me on Twitch at, like you see there, Darth_Eldor.
Yeah.
I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes as well. I'm a little definitely more sporadic than Swampgrass is, but I definitely do try to get on there to do grand arenas and other things, and hoping to be a little more active with it in the future. But as of right now, you can also find all of us here at the Shadow Collective podcast, and it's a great thing. We're having a lot of fun, and we hope to see you guys next time for episode 14 of season 2, which should be in a couple weeks, I would suppose. And
we're
hopefully we'll have a bunch more news then. And until then, hope you guys have some fun, and may the force be with you guys always.